view. Flip a doujin in the bed, I'm reading manga till it's 2. Tell me that you love a slip, I go, I'm knowing that it's true. Cause you acting all moe and vanilla in my view. So this is for them waifus, straight 2D flex in my life, fool. If you fuck with hentai, you my dude. Let the beat right out, keep it nice and smooth, yo. Hello?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I got a question.
What's up?
Start.
Yeah, thank you. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the weeabooze, the anime podcast, where some of the most unqualified people try to answer your anime questions. I'm Kyle.
I'm Hunter, and that's it.
Yeah, Sam was gonna come tonight, but his battery died. So
Yeah, okay. I didn't know what was wrong with his car, because he just said my car doesn't move, and then sent us a picture of like a teeny little like smudge of oil.
like
on
he's
his
been doing
hand.
car work.
Yeah, or no, that he wants us to think he's been doing car work.
Right, like
It's like
he
this
went
little,
through.
tiny little smudge of oil. Like he opened his hood and then like smeared his hand across the engine cap, and then he was like, "Heh." Now
And then
they'll
he went through the effort of sending us a picture of his smeared hand. Like
Yeah, to tell us that his car is broken. Whatever. So today we're drinking a Sierra Nevada. It's called Bigfoot barley wine. I think it's like, I haven't had too many barleys, but Kyle and I agreed that it's a little bit stronger. Like the face really hits you. The face really hits you in the taste.
Yeah.
The taste really hits you in the face. It's like, it's pretty strong flavor.
not really, like I wouldn't say like it's hoppy. It's just the flavor itself is really strong.
Yeah, it's definitely like a wintry type of thing. You wouldn't want to have these in the summer. It's a little bit like,
Yeah.
maybe rich.
And I actually had this a few nights ago, and I noticed like the flavor changed a lot when the temperature changed, like more so than usual. Like,
Yeah, I could
So.
see like maybe not darker, but like I don't know, richer or thicker,
Rich is yeah.
thicker, bolder kind of beers tend to change more. Like Guinness, I think, changes a lot with the temperature, and then like porters and stouts as well. So it's no surprise, but it is good. Sierra Nevada, Bigfoot.
Yeah. Well, tonight I want to talk about average anime.
Super average.
Super average, the most average. I believe there is a misconception, or at least a negative connotation associated with the term average. When I finish a series and I say, it was okay, people tend to immediately question what I didn't like about it. When I tell you guys later on that I think the Monogatari franchise is one of the most average anime within the realm of popular anime, I guarantee a lot of you listening, like right now, are getting a little upset already. Like, why don't I like Monogatari? But that's not what I said. Average is not synonymous with mediocre. Most anime I consider average are perfectly enjoyable. In fact, I think average anime just holds a certain degree of importance. Like, average anime sit on a threshold that helps differentiate the good from the bad. We use average anime as a frame of reference to determine the quality
So it's
of
the
every
bar.
subsequent show we watch.
It's the bar.
Yeah,
So
they set the standard.
Okay, like if it's better than Monogatari, then it was good. If it's worse than Monogatari, it was mediocre.
Yes.
That's kind of what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
But I think that like people warp the idea of what average is, because mathematically, if you're doing 1 to 10, an average would be a 5 out of 10 show.
Yes,
Okay, but most people think, okay, and I think school has something to do with this.
Totally.
Because a 70% is a C, and that's supposed to be average.
yeah.
Like, you're not exceptional or horrible. So I think that maybe the way we get graded in school is the reason we think about this. But I kind of agree that the word average kind of like, if you think about it mathematically, a 5 out of 10 is probably not worth my time. But a 7 out of 10 totally is. And that's what an average is in school. And that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people kind of think average is.
In fact, like, we'll talk about this in a minute. Like, out of curiosity, I went on my anime list and, like, I assumed the average was like a 7.5. So I went.
Oh, I'll bet so.
Yeah, so like I went on and I looked at like the 10 or so anime around a 7.5, like, and we'll see if those are like what we consider to be extremely average. Also, it's raining really hard right now, so I hope you don't hear that. I hope that doesn't pick up. But
No, you can't hear any of it.
awesome. Well, first of all, I want to ask you, why is average associated with subpar?
I think one thing with average is that like if there's this swath of anime available to you, you know, let's say I have no idea what the number is. Let's say 10,000 series exist.
Sure.
From 1980 to now.
Yeah.
If I watched an average one, if there's, you know, like mathematically that would mean that there are 1,000 10 out of 10 animes. Why would I have wasted my time with something that's anywhere under exceptional?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's why average is bad. Also, if you get a C, you don't feel like you did well on a test. Even
Totally.
though 70%, that means that you know a good amount of the material. You know almost 3/4 of the material, but you got a C and you're average.
Right.
So it doesn't feel that good.
Yeah, and like we often value individuality over following conventions. Like although there's nothing wrong with following like the format of a shonen, for example, there's also nothing really super exciting about just a normal shonen.
Yeah, but some just do it better. Like Kill la
Yeah.
Kill was a shonen, but it was like it was done in a different way.
It had
to
a
me.
lot more individuality. It had like
Yeah.
an outstanding quality to it.
But I mean, okay, if you do it down to its roots, it's like, oh, I'm about to lose, power up. Like
Well-
the whole shonen trope thing is kind of shown there. Like, you know, it starts out with one person against the world. You get to fight the big baddie at the very beginning, and then you lose, and you get knocked down, and you have to work your way back up. Like, it totally follows the show.
It totally does. You're totally right. But it does more than that. And
Yeah,
I'm saying
it's unique in that aspect. It's a shonen, but it did everything so well that it's like it rose above others.
right, and I'm saying like if we're talking about shonen, like Blue Exorcist, it has all those roots of what a shonen should have, but nothing more.
Yeah,
like it
there's
tried to
nothing-
play out this like appealing factor and
I
like
mean, I haven't
aesthetic.
seen it, but yeah, I assume it's just there's nothing differentiating.
Yeah.
The characters average. The power ups are kind of average.
Mm-hmm.
The fight scenes are average.
And by definition, like you said, average should take up the majority of the medium, but because it does, we get tired of seeing the same sort of thing over and over again.
Yeah, and average, you know, it has the negative connotation with it, but it's not necessarily bad. You know what? This will piss people off. But you know, it was an average show. ReZero. ReZero was kind of average. Like I really liked it as it was airing, but really after maybe the second arc, once you started getting into like maybe episodes 20 to 25, I was like, this has gone from being an exceptional show that I really enjoy to something I'm watching because I need to know how it ends.
It's average, but for kind of complicated reasons.
But it's still an average show.
Yeah, yes. I mean, we've talked about it a lot.
But I would recommend it to somebody, even though it is average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And would you agree with me that average anime are a good frame of reference for determining the quality of other anime?
A bar. If I use
Yeah.
Guilty Crown as an average anime and I say that's the bar, if it's better than Guilty Crown, then I liked it. I mean, you're going to think that Guilty Crown's like a 5. You're going to think it's below average. But I think it was average because I think, like, if you go back to the math, it's like, okay, story, you get like a 5 out of 10. But, like, you know, music, action, and, like, you know, animation, you get like 9s out of 10. And that, like, you know,
I get what you're saying.
the mean of that is like a 7.5 or whatever.
But something else we have to consider is we all have different standards.
Right. So for me, anything better than Guilty Crown is a good show. And anything not as good as Guilty Crown really isn't worth my time or worth my time to recommend to somebody else to watch.
Right. And I like to call average anime Superman series. And I think I've talked to Sam a little bit about this in the past. But like by today's standards, Superman is not an interesting hero because he has everything. Like he's strong, he's fast, he can fly, he has a very clear weakness, and he has a standard villain. And Superman is often the starting point, the reference when creating a superhero. Dragon Ball may be the Superman series of the shonen genre because it sets the standard for action.
Yeah, and kind of like the flow of the series, how it has to go, where you have to have almost like in a long running shonen, people are gonna get bored if it's like a huge, 100 episode wind up to the final battle. No, you have to have like, rising and falling action where it's like, all right, this is the big baddie of this arc.
Yeah.
And then it goes down, and then you have a new baddie that's a little bit stronger than the last one. It has to follow that kind of rising, falling action.
Right.
Because if you watched 100 episodes, it started at Dragon Ball, all the way through Dragon Ball Z, and the only enemy in the show was Kid Buu. And you had to go through all of this shit. Like, there was no Raditz, there was no fucking, like, the whole Namek saga's gone. Like, you throw out the Majin Buu thing, it's just Kid Buu or something at the very end. you'd be like, okay, this is taking forever. I'm done. I know you didn't understand any of that.
No, I got
But
it.
if you like take out all of the arc baddies
Yeah.
and you just have one big baddie at the end, like people would just get bored.
Yeah, yeah. And like maybe it's easier to establish an average when you look at things categorically. So let's break up this into two categories. Let's say, what is the overall average anime if we have like everything, if we take everything into consideration, and then let's talk about like what's the most average anime among like the most popular, like the top 100.
So just literally the most average anime.
Yes.
That would take more thought, but I feel like I feel like I might know what your answer is.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's see. So I was trying to think of it. I was trying to think of the most stereotypical anime, but nothing was coming to mind. So I started segmenting my thought process into like the most basic concepts. For genre, I thought it would probably be a harem. Because...
Oh, okay. Well, I'm way off.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because it's simply the most common genre. I thought visually, like it would be pretty distinct since most average anime are typically lacking in like the writing department, so they have to make up for it in style. I also thought it would be primarily an episodic type anime, like maybe with like a vague overarching plot point. And even with all that, I still really couldn't bring anything to mind. So I did what I told you about in the previously, which is I went on my anime list and I went to like the 7.5s.
Oh, then this won't be it because this is rated higher than 7.5 on my anime list.
Okay.
I think it's a personal average for you.
It might be, because I don't know if I agree with these as much as some other people do. So, but staring me right in the face at a 7.51 was Nisekoi, done by Shaft.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a harem. It has a very distinctive style. It had all the qualities I was thinking of. I'm like, oh, that's pretty damn average anime right there.
So Nisekoi is your general average anime?
I think I would kind of agree with that. A few others were Chaika, Gangsta, Love Lab, Dead Man Wonderland, Oremo, Love Live.
No, Oremo is actually one of mine that I put below average. I put that as an actual 5 out of 10 because I was like...
You can't fuck your sister, man. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Why do you want to do that?
Oremo, Love Live, Monster Musume, Gatchaman Crowds, Future Diary, and surprisingly...
Mirai Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was trash.
And then surprisingly, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho.
So, I would kind of agree with...
Mirai Nikki I didn't even finish. That's how average that show was.
That's just bad. But, yeah, for most average, like, if we had to pick one, and based off that list,
What
I
about
think...
Spice and Wolf?
People love Spice and Wolf.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I guess not. But like I couldn't really get through it. I thought it was boring.
If you thought it was boring, I don't have a shot.
Yeah. And I'm in the minority. That's one of my kind of unique opinions because a lot of people love Spice and Wolf. But what were you thinking? Like, what's your average anime, or what did you think mine was?
I think that yours personally, because I think that you don't understand the hype that it got, and you think that really it doesn't do anything special, is Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I completely agree with
Whereas
that.
I think that Attack on Titan is a little bit more above average or exceptional, and the average version of Attack on Titan is the fucking train.
Attack on Trains?
Yeah, Attack on Train. What the hell is the actual name of that?
I was going to say Rail Wars. Rail Wars is
Rail
not...
Wars?
That's not that anime.
It was like... it started with like a K or something. Oh my god.
Kyojin is Titan. I don't know.
I totally forgot the name of it, but it was a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, we all know it.
It was Attack on Trains. That was the average version of Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Now, as far as average anime go, like Sword Art Online, maybe. I know that people love that shit, but it's like it kind of fits your thing, right? Because the writing's pretty bad, so they make up for it with like really stark visuals, and it's kind of a harem. Like it hits your points. So I think that the most average anime is Sword Art Online, but personally I think it's worse than an average because I actually wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Okay. So what about the most average anime among popular or mainstream shows? So we're kind of narrowing our population here. And for me, like I said, is the Monogatari series. Like the entire franchise. Maybe if I were to pull out like individual seasons, like just Bakemono is fantastic standalone, but when you look at the franchise as a whole, it just succeeds in so many places and fails in others that it kind of balances out. But I guarantee when I say I think Monogatari is average, people get upset.
Oh yeah, because people like hold it close to heart, and like that when you say that Attack on Titan's like average, I think, I mean, that's just like your opinion.
But the thing is, I love it. I love the Monogatari franchise. It has moments of genius writing and moments of terrible fan service. It has beautiful and creative style, and then it has instances of virtually no animation. It has everything, and that is its downfall. Like, you can't appeal to everyone without having a fair share of drawbacks. So, do you have a most average for like popular shows? I mean, I think Attack on Titan could probably apply to both.
Well, I think that it's almost unfair to say popular shows, because I think that people have better taste than to like things that are just average. I think that the really popular stuff is a little bit above average, with the exception being ReZero. Mm-hmm. I think it is average, even though it's like an 8.6 or some shit.
Well, that will change in a year, because popularity is a huge factor in scores on my anime list.
I think sometimes, but I do think that like say Your Name is probably like fucking top right now, and I think it's gonna stay there for a while, because that was exceptional.
Yeah.
As far as like average, I feel like I have to do it between things I've actually seen. There was an anime I watched called Zenkyo no Terror or some shit.
Terror and Resonance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that was remarkably average, but I don't think it's that popular.
Well, it's by the person who worked on Bebop, so like it's well known.
Maybe Angel Beats for like something that's well known, but I thought was kind of average, because I think it tried too hard to be an emotional roller coaster. I don't know if you've seen Angel Beats.
I've seen Angel Beats.
I don't know why I asked you if you've seen a thing. Like, that's a fucking rookie mistake. But yeah, so Angel Beats, I think there's a lot of people that really like it, and you know, if it's literally your number one, more power to you. But
yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer, because I can see what you're getting at. Angel Beats, I do like Angel Beats.
I do like it too, and I would watch it again. But it's like they try so hard to be like funny and like, you know, lighthearted, and then like try to crush you in horrible emotional
It's almost
despair.
similar to Monogatari in the sense that it'll be like gorgeous and intellectual, and then it'll be like tits. Like right in your face. And like Angel Beats does something similar, where like it'll be genuinely hilarious, and then it's tragic.
Like, oh yeah, remember this guy's dead.
like
oh god, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
get back to the fun part.
And it goes back to that whole trying to do everything ends up appealing to fewer people.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it. I'd recommend it to people, but it is average and it is popular, so that's my answer.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, like, I just wanted to make like a PSA that average doesn't mean bad. Like, and you can love average shows. If Sam was here, I'm sure we'd be talking a little bit more about Noragami, because Noragami is just another like totally average show, but he loves it, and I think he would even agree that it's average.
There is somebody out there that thinks K-On! Is average. You're wrong, but I respect that. But I respect that it's different for everyone, because like. If I boil it down, it's kind of like the bar for like cute girls doing cute things. I feel like, or at least some people would call it the bar. I say it's above the bar, but I think that some people would say like better than K-On! Means it's a good one. Not as good as K-On! Means it's not a good one.
Mm-hmm. And like I hope people don't disagree that the standard and average are two different things. Would you? I mean, do you think that's?
I think that the standard is trying to like, well, when I think standard, the first thing that actually comes to mind without thinking about it is kind of like it's similar to setting the bar, but like setting the standard is a little bit higher than that. Like if you say that Madoka Magica sets the standard for like, you know, screwing with what you think you're going into a show for, for messing with your perception, then that's a really good thing. I think that means that, you know, this not only sets the bar, but sets it really high, and you should strive to be as good as this.
Right. And that's a really good point, but I also mentioned we all have different standards. Yeah. So it's going to change between everyone, and what we relate it to. Specifically, like if we're thinking about in regards to all anime or a genre or popular anime.
Look, Madoka showed up. They just like
it did
your
popped up on
TV
screensaver.
knows.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. We won't linger too long on it, but let's just jump right into questions. Darvinger asks, more for the casuals in the group, but would you ever consider approaching Kyle's level of anime watching? And I kind of laughed because I think I know the answer.
I think that Kyle has more passion than us. I don't think that I could attain that level just because I don't enjoy it as much. I do enjoy anime, but it's like other things in my life to me are more important than anime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't know. I don't think I could not get on Kyle's level. It's not a big enough passion for me. Like it has to be passion driven. It's like if somebody forces you to learn Spanish in school and says you have to be fluent in a year, you'd be like, you know what? I don't care enough. Like, and that sounds not so good when I put it toward anime, but it's like I don't care enough to get to the 900 because I'm okay with just watching only the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I have everything kind of handpicked, like if I was to watch as many as Kyle, I would watch some stuff that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys like have already specifically said like you're not into anime that much. I mean, compared to me, but like what we do love to do is just watching anime is something we love to do to just chill and hang out, and
Yeah.
I just do it
I do it to just legit sit back and relax. I view it as something that is a relaxing pastime almost.
Right.
So if I think if I got into Kyle's level of watching, it almost turns into a chore for me because it's like, you know, I have to keep up with so many series to get, you know, at that level that it would become more of a job and less of a pastime and a hobby.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like when I got competitive at League of Legends. It stopped being fun. It started being fucking cutthroat, like Top's feeding, he's a shithole, fuck Top, no ganks Top. Like you just turn into a mean person in League of Legends if you start getting competitive.
But anyways, let's answer another question really quickly.
Is this Love Live?
That is Love Live.
It looks so average. Is it average?
It was one of the ones I named out of
Nice.
7.5.
All right.
Yeah. Lolita asks, hi guys, in your latest episode you mentioned how you didn't like the voice actors in the new One Piece movie. So I was wondering, when do you consider a dub to be good? Do you watch dubbed anime, and what do you guys think about it? We've
covered this a little bit, but to reiterate, I started with dubs because I think that most people, even if you won't admit it, started with dubs because, like, to me, it was such a chore to fucking have to read the entire time. Like, I just want to sit back and relax and watch it. I don't want to read. So I started with dubs on Gurren Lagann. And I thought Gurren Lagann was well done, but I do agree now that the Japanese voice actors are better. Cowboy Bebop, I still hold that the dubs are better. Samurai Champloo, I think the dubs are better. And I think the dubs can be done well. I even think the Madoka dubs aren't horrible. But, well, okay, they're kind of bad.
I don't know if I've heard them. I might have.
I remember watching Madoka in dubbed. Now that I remember, I think it might be a little bit bad. But
yeah,
I totally got through it because I didn't have anything to compare it to. Like, I think that dubs are definitely a gateway into it. And I think that Japanese voice actors, it's twofold. A, it's all written in Japanese, so when you translate it, you lose something. And B, I don't know if he's shitty at acting because I haven't heard enough Japanese in my life.
Right, that's a good point. I mean, we talked about our preference in regards to dubs versus subs.
I think we all prefer subs.
But we didn't really go into what makes a dub good.
Well, I think that there are a couple of voice actors that are good, that are just, much better voice actors. Like, voice acting in English is obviously not inherently bad. If you've seen Toy Story, you know that it can be done well.
Right, and I think that is kind of the problem, which is...
There's not enough good voice actors in English.
Well, that's part of it, but I was going to say, people, like, voice actors try to imitate the Japanese voices, or they try to get too into that character, and those character archetypes don't really exist in American fiction.
Yeah.
Or even like those just voices don't really translate. And that's why I think like Bebop and Shampoo are done so well, because they're very Americanized characters. I mean,
yeah, it's
contrary
like
to the fact
totally
that
Western.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
Spike is just a cool like a
hip hop
suave
influenced, like modern. It's very modern. Oh,
dude. Jazz influenced. Bebop.
I was thinking Shampoo.
Yeah, Shampoo is hip hop influenced, and it's
So when I said
I get
hip
what
hop, you
I
said
get what
jazz. Okay.
No, it's Cowboy Bebop.
I know.
Is jazz.
I know.
But yeah, they're very Western characters. Whereas like, and I think that actually the dubs for Dragon Ball Z are actually pretty good, because the dude that does Goku fucking goes balls out. There was this rumor that he passed out while doing some of the screaming for his Super Saiyan power ups. I saw like an AMA of him, and he dispelled that. But you know that he puts his heart into every line that he does as Goku.
Yeah.
So I think that the dubs for DBZ are all pretty good as well. So I think that what makes a good dub is just a Western character. I think could be translated.
Yeah.
More easily.
Don't try to imitate
Yeah,
something too much. I would rather see like something that fits our culture, rather than trying to imitate a different culture.
And then two is just, I think the quality of voice actors. I think all the good ones work for like Pixar or something. So like when Funimation goes out and looks for voice actors, they don't want to spend a shitload of money getting the, really like dedicated and like passionate voice actors. So they just get people that are kind of second rate.
Right. And then because of the whole Disney Ghibli situation, Ghibli films are often dubbed with like professional actors. Like Liam Neeson is in Ponyo. Like it's
Yeah.
top tier. So, but I think that's about it.
I don't think the Totoro dub was very good.
It might not have been. I don't remember.
It might be too old for it to be the Disney kind of
brand.
combination.
But let's talk about what we're watching. I have a lot to talk about the new season. But before I get into that, Hunter, do you have anything you want to talk about?
So the only thing that we watched is we watched an episode of Monogatari, and I'm pretty sure it was chosen. So I texted Kyle randomly. He moved a lot closer to my house, so it's like a 5-minute drive. So I came over and I was like, "Hey, let's watch something." And then as I got here, I'm pretty sure he walked out with Monogatari, and I was like, I feel like I've seen like GIFs of this or something. Let's watch that. Screw it. So he picked it. And he put it in, and we watched just the first episode. I think we might watch the second episode tonight. But it's very, I don't think it's like super good, but I think it's a simple but very interesting story. And while there is a lot of dialogue, it also gives a lot of info into how the characters operate. Like dialogue isn't inherently bad. It's dialogue heavy, but I do like it, and I think it's genuinely like. The style of it, like just the way the characters are designed and stuff, I think is really cool. And I think the premise is cool, so I want to finish it.
Yeah, episode 1 is kind of like a prologue, and I'm really looking forward to having you watch the rest of it. So
Okay.
I wouldn't have made you watch it if I didn't think you would like it a lot. So
Right.
So
Kyle's good with the recos.
I would hope so. So a lot of stuff to talk about from the new season. So in terms of second seasons, there's Konosuba Season 2, which is great. There's Blue Exorcist Season 2, which is meh. There's Rakugo Season 2, which is fantastic. And then Yoaped Season 2, which is... Or is it Season 3? Well, it's a continuation of Yowamushi Pedal. And right now, I want to like it, but they haven't really gotten to any racing yet. It's been very stereotypical, emotional, people are graduating, he doesn't really know what to do. So I'm kind of waiting on that one. But I mostly want to talk about the new stuff. So first off is Masamune-kun. The premise is about a boy who was made fun of as a child for being overweight, and now that he's older and super attractive, he wants to get revenge on this one girl who was particularly mean to him. He looks so drastically different that she doesn't even recognize him, and his goal is to make her fall in love with him and then dump her, I guess. That is his revenge.
Well, What a dick.
Yeah. So like the show is entertaining enough, and like the overall quality is pretty decent, but like conceptually it's just not super interesting to me. I have read a good amount of the manga, but even if you haven't, I still feel like you would think it was just very predictable. So it's whatever. Next is Kuzu no Honkai. And this one actually managed to get past my radar. Like, I didn't notice it on the preview lists or the first day it came out. And at this moment, after having seen the first two episodes, it's currently my favorite of the season.
You know what I'm really excited for?
What?
So, not this season, but next season. Guess what's coming out?
Hero Academia 2?
It's a season 2 of a remarkably average anime for you.
Hero Academia?
No.
Oh, I don't know. What?
I think Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah, that's coming out next season.
Hell fucking yeah. I've been waiting,
I don't even know.
4 years now?
Do people still care about Attack on Titan? Like,
Dude,
is it even relevant?
Dude, Levi's a badass.
But anyways, getting back to Kuzu no Honkai, it's also called Scum's Wish. It's about two students, one female, one male, in love with their respective teachers. The students find out that the teachers may be romantically interested in each other, and consequently, the boy and the girl start using each other as a means to get off, basically, since they can't be with who they actually love. So as these kids are fooling around, they're imagining being with their teachers. And it's a pretty dark series with a somewhat realistic tone, but I almost felt bad for liking it, and maybe just because it's like super kinky, I guess. And I love these kind of dark romances, and it kind of borders on smut, if you're familiar with that as a genre.
Isn't smut just like porno?
No, smut is like...
That's what like I've...
Well, okay, maybe in like not anime terms, sure.
Okay.
But like smut in like manga at least is like the seinen of ecchi, if that makes sense. It's like a little bit
adult ecchi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like everything but sex, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, it has like a fantastic ending. Like the episode 2 had like this amazing like cliffhanger moment at the very end. Like I'm really liking this show, but it's not for everyone because it's very kinky and kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck? If you like it, like it.
Yeah, so I mean, I love it.
Whatever.
Check it.
More
Yeah,
power
and
to
just
you.
if you're not watching it, check out the ending. The ending is super cool, like the ending theme. Next is Little Witch Academia.
Oh yeah, the series.
The series is sadly a bit underwhelming. First of all, it was picked up by Netflix, which means there's no legal way of watching it until it's practically almost over, because it's going to be all released at once when like episode 11 comes out on Netflix. But there are ways of watching it if you don't want to wait. Regardless of that, the series ignores the movies pretty much, and it starts over, meaning it revisits a lot of concepts we've already seen. And normally, I enjoy more fleshed out versions of things, but it's honestly a bit tiresome to sit through the mystery of who, like, Shiny Chariot is all over again. And the anime starts venturing into some new territory, or when it starts venturing into some new territory, I'm sure it'll be more interesting, but as of now, it's not, like, too thrilling. But, like, it's a good franchise. I like Little Witch. I want to like it. Yojo Senki, I talked about a little bit. It's still not really my sort of show. The main appealing factor is the concept itself, which is an evil little girl dressed as a Nazi fighting people with magic. And in episode 2, spoiler warning, we find out that this is not just a little evil girl, but it's actually an evil man who was killed, and now he's reincarnated in this little girl's body. But he still has his memories.
That's so stupid.
It's really stupid.
That's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Next is Fuka. I also talked a little bit about this one. It's a pretty normal romance with a love triangle, and it's perfectly fine. However, I previously mentioned that people were giving it off like a sort of like you don't know what you're in for vibe, and I now remember what people are referencing. So keep your eye out for Fuka. Like
Fuka?
Fuka, Fuuka. Then there's Demi-chan wa Katiritai. It's super cute. It's like a toned-down, slightly less sexual Monster Musume with demi-humans instead of monster girls. So we have vampires and the Headless Horseman and a succubus. and it's really fun. And this season is full of like this sort of fun, or these sort of fun shows. They're not really like masterpieces, but they're really enjoyable. I really like the tone of this series. So next is Kobayashi Maid Dragon, is the new Kyoto Animation anime, and I almost didn't recognize it as a Kyoto Animation show, which is kind of surprising. No, not. I mean, it's a Kyoto Animation show like Nichijou was Kyoto Animation. Did you see Nichijou?
I did not like Nichijou.
Well, visually, like style-wise, it doesn't.
I guess I would made me choose what animation studio I thought it was. I might pick Kyoto.
Well, yeah, same here. I mean, I recognized it after a little bit, but it's as good as it's as good of a time as anything else that Kyoto Animation makes. It's about an office worker and about her 30s, I'm guessing, and she drunkenly stumbles into the forest, befriends this massive dragon, and falls in love with her, and the dragon transforms into a cute maid, and they live together, and I love anime. That is dope. It's so good. That's what anime is about.
What the fuck?
It's so good. You don't hear that anywhere else.
I mean, you have my interest, at least.
That's what I thought. It's super well animated. It has a really nice style to it, a really good finesse on like the animation. It's funny. Like I like it. I like it a lot. So then there is Gabriel Dropout. It's okay. An angel goes to Earth for training, but when she discovers an online game, she turns into a NEET and a slob and doesn't want to go to school. And the comedy is surprisingly good so far, but it's just another fun one. It's not really outstanding.
Just like hella into StarCraft.
Yeah, pretty much. Then there's Aka, or ACCA, I think it's pronounced Aka, and I was looking forward to it from like a stylistic standpoint, but after having seen the first 2 episodes, it's honestly a little bit boring. Like, I can tell the anime is trying to set things up for some interesting plot points, like, so I'll have to wait and see. Like, it's not bad enough to drop, but there's just nothing special going on. It's essentially about this guy who works for an inspection agency within the government. However, the people who work for the government are definitely not Nazis. They're totally Nazis. So
like actual Nazis?
They look like Nazis. Like they wear a Nazi uniform pretty much.
That's pretty Nazi.
Yeah. Then there is Onihei, and Onihei is very cool, but similar to Little Witch, it's kind of hard to watch in the sense that it was picked up by Amazon. So like you have to have an Amazon subscription, and so it's kind of hard to get around, but you can watch it if you want. It's very cool. It's a very mature show with a lot of style, and it's the closest thing I've seen to Samurai Champloo in a very long time because I'm pretty sure it's made by the same guy. So it's an Edo period piece where this old school law enforcer is tracking down like some sort of master criminal. And I've only seen the first episode. I think the second or third is even out, but it just has a lot of style and personality to it, and I'm still skeptical, but I like it. And that's pretty much everything that I'm watching this season. There are a handful of other things like Akiba's Trip, but it's not really worth mentioning. That's about it. It is a much slower season. There's not a lot out, and the shows that are out are mostly just fun. Like I said, they're not really masterpieces, but it happens. Slow seasons.
So it's an average season?
To
kick off the average.
Tying it in.
The average episode.
Totally. Please keep sending us questions, episode topics, whatever you want. You can send us questions on theweeabooze@gmail.com. We're theweeabooze on Twitter. And you can send questions to me at Secret Otaku on Tumblr.
And if you want to send Kyle a text message.
No, please don't give my phone number out. We want to get the word out, so share it, reblog, give us an iTunes review. Those are very helpful.
This is like the part where everyone just totally stops listening. You know that, right?
But what if we did something super exciting right now?
Like what?
Anime 20 questions.
Do they wear glasses?
I haven't thought of an anime yet.
Damn it, Kyle.
Yes, they wear glasses.
Is it Kyoto Animation?
No.
Is it something I've seen?
No.
Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know it?
You know what it is.
Is it a movie or is it a movie?
No.
Is the character male?
Yes.
Is the character very suave?
I'll give you a freebie and a pass because it's debatable.
No, it's definitely not debatable. Is the one that was.
Okay, not suave. No.
Okay. God, this is so much harder alone.
You have 6
A
questions.
male I've never seen it. Wears glasses, not suave.
Yes.
Hint.
It's popular, and it's popular, and you know it. 2 hints. Well, I'll give you 3 hints, and it's debatably a classic. So many hints.
Dude, I have no idea.
Just keep asking questions.
Is it?
You set yourself up for this one. You said it was boring and people didn't listen to this part, so now they have to.
It's so boring though. It's just me thinking. Classic. Is it from before 2000?
Yes.
Oh, fuck me, dude. I have no idea. Is it a Ghibli film?
No. 8 questions.
You said it was not a movie?
It's not a movie, it's a series.
Was it on Toonami at some point?
I believe it was.
Dude, I legit don't even know where to start. Like, I barely know anything before 2000. Are there cute girls in the series?
No. Well, no. 10 questions. I think there's a cute girl, but not like K-On cute.
Does it have robots in it?
Nope.
Is it set in high school?
Nope. Setting is kind of a good question.
It is set in the desert.
Yes.
What?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
13 questions.
Is there one main character?
Yes. Yeah.
Desert classic. Glasses. Have we ever thought about watching it?
Yes.
I do like this wallpaper, by the way.
ReZero wallpaper, sexy swimsuit wallpaper, 15 questions, 5 questions left. Weapon? Want to ask about the weapon, maybe?
Does he use a sword?
No. 16.
Does he use a gun?
Yes.
Desert gun?
Desert guns.
What?
Desert gun, classic, anime. Glasses. They're sunglasses.
Does he wear a hat?
No.
Fuck. It's not. Okay.
2 questions left. The last question has to be your guess.
Is it a pistol?
Yes. Okay, this is it. That was it. There's a last question you have to guess.
Is it Trigun?
Yes!
Oh my
it's
god.
It's Trigun!
I thought Trigun dude wore a hat. I was thinking of Van Helsing the entire time.
No, you got it. I'm so proud of you. We want to thank Hentai Dude for the intro music and Kid for the outro music. See you guys next week.
Get
drunk
and
anime.
Woo.
Woo!
Holy shit.
Oh, I'm so proud of my friend.
Catch smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Wo in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit. Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Wo in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit.